Hello and welcome to Burnaby Road for the 2022 Inter-Services Rugby League. We've got two live games for you this evening, as the Royal Navy play host to the Royal Air Force. First up, it's the ladies, and they haven't competed against each other since 2019. So which blue is going to put their hand up and challenge the Army? It is the question that most of us here are asking. Who can, out of these two teams playing this afternoon, the Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force women, who can challenge the Army? I'm Kath Brazier. I'm joined, I think only briefly for the match. We've got Jim Bowen, who's a former Royal Navy women's head coach. Jim, you're a flying visitor, but just tell us a little bit it's been a couple of years since you were in charge, but tell us a little bit what can you give us about the Royal Navy? What have they got in terms of the names we've got down here? Any names we should be aware of?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. It started off a bit of a development squad really, and then it's built from there. During my tenure, it was we were building numbers. Really, was the concentrating grassroots. Some of the names on there I recognise still from the last time I was down. And there's definitely some players there to be wary of and look out for. You know, they're up and coming and really developed well over the years.
Has it always been, the reason I'm talking about this, we've played a VT, we're aware of the Army dominance, especially in the women's game. Was it always the game against the Royal Air Force was where you kind of felt you were on par, and then the Army was something you were sort of stretching for? You know, is that too mean a word in a way?
It was definitely always in the aim to go after the Army, but yeah, we were realistic with our sights and concentrated, focused on the RAF game. It was always one that was achievable, but yeah, we came close the last time up at Featherstone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a real close game, but yeah, was hoping to build on that, but obviously COVID put the end to that.
And we've seen an improvement in the RAF women's side, in that some of those players have gone to play for civilian clubs, some Super League clubs, and I know that happens a lot in the Army. Is that something you tried to push in the Royal Navy side as well?
Definitely, yeah. I always tried throwing it out there, lots of contacts up in the north, trying to get the troops down there, but realistically the Royal Navy's at sea doing a job.
Yes, of course, yeah. Yeah, they're away at sea for too long, aren't they?
Yeah.
And what have you been doing, Jim, since you sort of relinquished this job, but keeping busy elsewhere, I imagine?
I've crossed over into the reserves, so
right.
I still tried keeping involved, but the reserves aren't really supportive of it with the commitment, so my civilian job takes over with that now as well, so I just try and help out where I can.
I know John mentioned it earlier, but John Knighton, of course, who will be commentating on the men's match later. This is probably one of the most southernmost rugby league venues or fixtures we've seen for a while, because it's we do see so much rugby league up north, and it's so nice to see it down in Portsmouth for a change.
Definitely, and during my time down here, I used to coach at the local school and introduce rugby league as much as we could, try and spread the word, and it's nice to see it growing in the southern counties.
Okay, look, we're just waiting for the women's team at the moment. They're just doing some drills behind one of the marquees, so you may have to chat to me a little bit longer, Jim. But I know that we've got some graphics for the teams that we've been given. Perhaps, Jim, if we could talk through the Royal Navy lineup to begin with, and you could, the names that you recognise, you could sort of put in at fullback here. Number 1, Josie Parnaby. Any time you want to speak up, Holly Cole on the wing. We've also got Jodie Mills on the other wing. 2 centres, Molly Ellis and Heather Addison-Prout. How does that lineup look?
Yeah, there's a couple of familiar names there. Josie Parnaby, she was joined us in the early start of the last couple of years and developed well. Strong player, strong runner. Same as Jodie Mills. There'll be a good partnership them two together. From what I remember, there'll be some good link-ups with them two, and the strong runners.
Sam Alderson, I mean, it feels like, I say this when she plays rugby union as well, feels like she's been around forever, but reliable, with ball in hand and ball on foot as well. She'll be at standoff as normal. Yeah,
she'll be linking up at the back there, keeping it all together and really directing the field of play, which will be good. Yeah, strong captain there.
Abby Ashby in at scrum half. We've got is it Leica Swain, Becky Bowskill, Lucy Honeybell, Abby Soundak, Rebecca Addis and Sharm McLaughlin taking up a lot of forwards there mentioned, and they'll be finishing the lineup, or the starting lineup at least, for the Royal Navy. Yeah,
that's a strong pack there. Definitely some names I remember as well. They started and have grown during my time, and it's good to see them continue on, and seeing what they're doing now is great. Still out there playing and spreading the word and getting the girls in.
Okay, we're just going to quickly look at the RAF women's lineup. I'll just read 1 to 13 as I've got here on the sheet. Hannah McCabe starts at fullback. Trinity Earnshaw, Katie Cohen, Rachel Cousins, Dana Jane Maben, Kate Allen, Chelsea Greasley, Em Ferguson, Louise Pritchard, Grace Horton Burnett, Alice Fisher, Sia Fasilao, I'm always told with Fijian names to say it as I see it, and Alex Barnes. Now, of course, she's been up at Leeds Rhinos. I talk about the RAF women. She's there at loose forward. She's been playing, constantly this summer. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what we need. That's what we're seeing a lot in rugby union is people coming in from civilian clubs and playing a quality game.
Yeah, it's real good what they bring to the team, especially when our girls used to take a break and go play union, what they used to bring back, the strengths, the qualities, and spread that word and develop other players, which is, league's really good for that. It's a really bonding sport.
Did you ever find, because we do see so much link up between the two codes, did you ever find that improved the game, or sometimes, did it sometimes take away from league? Because I know that there are certain skills in league and union that, if you play one too much of one code, you possibly are lacking in the other. But did you find it a good thing or a bad thing?
To be honest, I thought it was a good thing. It keeps the players regular, keeps the fitness up, and I definitely saw the improvement in the union side with the girls who played league. Their fitness levels were up, and you could see their performance was much better as they went back to the union.
Okay, so just to update you, and welcome to everyone who is watching BFBS either on BFBS Sport, on our Forces News Facebook or YouTube channel. A slight delayed start to the women's match here at Burnaby Road. We have just seen a very exciting game between the two men's development teams, and the Royal Air Force came out on top of that, 22-12. I believe they came from 10 points down at the beginning. So John Knighton, you're joining us handily. We have a third mic. So John, what do you make of that development game as you look ahead to the men's senior match later?
Yeah, well, of course the development game is so important, isn't it? Because it's a great opportunity for the coaches to have a look at the players of the future. Players who might be, staking a claim for the team, maybe even against the Army or certainly next season, and there'll have been some pretty good standout performances. But I think from a Navy point of view, and I'm sure Jim you'll agree with me, maybe, I don't know if you managed to see any of the development game. I know you arrived here, but
he arrived here right into COCOM seat.
There were quite a few handling errors, shall we say, from the Navy boys, which did surrender the lead. They were ahead in the match. They were leading by 12 points to 10 at one stage, but the RAF made the most. They capitalised on the handling errors and eventually came through and won the game by 22 points to 12. So that's a real boost for the visitors here, but something that I'm sure the home fans hopefully won't be being repeated in the other two games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why it's development. It's good to get those nerves out at a young age and build the confidence early.
Is it? I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of within the military we see under 25 sides, but now it's more pushed towards development. So trying to explain it, it's more of a not a seconds. I don't want to say that it's the reserve team or something, but you've got such interest in these sports, especially in rugby league, that you've got enough for 2 teams basically, and you want to, the guys who need a bit more work, obviously get to do that in the development side. So it's not necessarily an age thing, is it?
No, it's definitely not. No, it's about getting those numbers out on the field, and it's good to see the guys turning up for sport. The numbers dwindled for a while, and it was hard to get things moving. And some of the guys have really persevered with getting rugby league off the ground, and it's great to see that they're able to field those numbers.
John, I know that COVID obviously had a massive impact on all kinds of sport, and forces sport in particular. We're still feeling the kind of reverberations. This is the first time we've been back a full inter-services rugby league since 2019. Yeah. Remind us what happened last year with, because I know that the Royal Navy couldn't field a team, could they? So it was RAF playing the Army, and the women's team teamed up against the Army. So it wasn't a full inter-services, but you still got some games in. Yeah,
it was a strange year last year in many ways. You're quite right. Unfortunately, I think majority of the Navy players at that time were deployed. Obviously, there was the huge Navy exercises out in the Far East with HMS Queen Elizabeth and obviously all the supporting fleet, and it meant that the Navy simply couldn't raise enough players of the high enough standard to take on the RAF or the Army. So the RAF and the Army actually played 2 games within the space of about 10 days with each other. The first one was at Featherstone, which was a really good match. I seem to remember that the RAF, were well ahead in the match, and then the Army suddenly found top gear and went on to win the game. The second game was at Warrington, and will probably be remembered, shall we say, for rather a sport other than rugby league, which rather dominant.
It got quite a lot of views for the wrong reason.
We did, yeah. But that's contact sport, and sometimes things can boil over. It was a really high tackle, I seem to remember, that started it all off, and I'm afraid that all the players involved who received red cards were, shall we say, suitably dealt with by the authorities. But we certainly got a big audience for that. You're quite right.
And the women are now coming out slowly, dribbling out. We've got the Navy girls on pitch and the RAF ladies are making the 3. And John, so the game last year was the RAF, basically the 2 Blues, the RAF and the Royal Navy, teamed up together to play the Army. Yeah. Was that a good exhibition match?
Well, it was certainly an exhibition match. The Army at the moment, and Jim, I'm sure you'll agree, having seen what Army Women's Rugby League have done over the last few years, they are rather head and shoulders above everyone else at the moment. I know you're trying to play catch up as you possibly can, but the Army have had a fantastic 12 months. They obviously they got to the final of Women's Super League South last season. They've got some great players. They've got some international standard players in their side who are playing professional rugby, and it's very difficult to match against that, isn't it? Really, when you've got players who maybe come in and get together a couple of 3 times a year or something like that, max.
Yeah, definitely. It's really hard to get the girls together. To be honest, just with each unit so dislocated as they are, you're talking units in Scotland and Plymouth, to try and get people down here just to play even a game on a Wednesday or just attend training was an absolute nightmare. And some units just wouldn't allow those to have time off because they saw that individual as an integral part of the unit, which was sad to see. But again, the Army, they're lucky with the location. A lot of the players have big numbers in the teams, so they're fortunate there.
Thanks, Jim. We're going to hear the national anthems and a minute silence.
Also heard the sound there of the national anthem. The PA system is actually some distance away from us here, but great to hear the players actually singing themselves. So
Okay, Jim, and now we see I'm going to take a seat back down now the national anthems are over. We are just watching as the Royal Navy women and the RAF women are introduced to dignitaries before the action gets underway. I mean, I don't know if it's fair to make you make a call, Jim, but you know, can you see a winner? With the last time they played against each other in 2019, it was a 10-all draw. So do you think this is two fairly evenly matched teams?
Definitely, yeah. I think from what I remember, and you know, some of the names that are in that squad have developed. You know, I've kept an eye on things from afar, but yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a fair game to start off with. I do think it'll be a good contest.
Okay, well, hopefully Jim can stick with us until we find a suitable replacement. Just to explain to our viewers, this is how we get our co-coms. We the next person who arrives in the car gets to appear on the mic. Some people don't even know they're doing it until 10 minutes beforehand, Jim. I think that was probably the case with you. But yeah, rugby league here. Great to see a game in Portsmouth, as we were saying, and fantastic finally to see Inter-Services Rugby League back to full strength after, well, I say 2-year absence, but really 3 years, because we haven't seen anything since 2019 in the full Inter-Services format. So it'd be exciting to watch these girls up at it again.
Yeah, that was my last memory was up at Featherstone, and that was a great game. Almost great to finish on a high, but it's good to be back.
Yeah. Okay, so we are just about to get underway in the second game of these Inter-Services. I say second game because we've already had a very exciting game between the two development men's sides and the Royal Air Force winning that 22 points to 12. But we are about to get underway in the women's match. The men's do stay with us as well later. We're live, of course, on BFBS Sport, Forces News, Facebook and on YouTube. And the men's match will be taking place at... I've lost track of time. 6:30 this evening. So hopefully you'll be joining us for both games, and do feel free to tell us where you're watching from and who you're supporting, because we love to hear it from our audience, as the Royal Air Force ladies have a kick-off here at Burnaby Road. We are a few minutes delayed on this start, but let's hope for a good game. Straight into Royal Navy possession. Of course, there's that extra pressure, isn't there, Jim, in rugby league, where you've only got 6 passes in a set, haven't you? So, or 6 moves in a set, which always sort of adds that pressure to get the to make the yards early on. Definitely so.
Yeah, you want to take advantage of any space you've got and get the ball out your half as quick as possible, really.
And the Royal Navy still in possession there from the kickoff. Sam Alderson, ever reliable. The back of the pack there. What, Jim? Did you? Was it important that you? And we're back into RAF possession here, Jim. Was it important to you that the Royal Navy girls, or any team that you've coached, sort of made a good start? We've seen, obviously, in the developed game, it doesn't always happen that if you make a good start, you win the game, but you want that positivity from the get-go.
Yeah, possession's key, really. Keeping hold of the ball, dominating. You don't want to be defending because it's just tiring. You find yourself on the back foot otherwise, so try and get possession as much as possible and keep strong.
I've just noticed we're just awaiting, not necessarily a huge injury, but just a little bit of a check-up there on RAF player. Sam Alderson is actually playing in the number 7 shirt. I think Abby Ashby's in the 6 shirt, just for clear up any confusion there. But Sam Alderson's still playing that standoff role in the number 7 shirt. So you're joining us here on Forces News Facebook and YouTube. Also, we're live on BFBS Sport for the first game of the Inter-Services Rugby League for 2022. We haven't seen these teams play against each other properly since 2019 due to a global pandemic. But the last time these girls met, it was 10-all. So we're hoping for an equal size game this year. Currently no score on the board, but we are literally only a few minutes in to this first match. If you stay with us here on Forces News Facebook and YouTube, we will be showing the men's senior game, which is Royal Navy versus Royal Air Force, at 6:30, and John, you'll be commentating that.
I'm just keeping a bit of an eye on the messages. We've got messages coming through, Kath. Dave Stott has been waiting patiently, so his patience is finally paid off.
Did he like all our blurb to begin with, just to cover the fact that the teams
I think so. Absolutely right.
Right, the RAF making some crucial yards here as they've got possession of the ball. See if it's allowed there. And fitness, Jim, I mean, did you find that was a sort of issue that these ladies had to sort of take responsibility for their own fitness, in a game as tough as rugby league is?
Yeah, we did struggle at the start. We had a few players that did struggle to pick up on the fitness, but the majority of the girls are really into it, and they kept up their own phys as well as the extra we was giving them during training camps. But obviously with the job, they have to maintain a level of fitness anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so we're into Navy put in here. It's fair to say it's been sort of 50-50 so far. We haven't really moved from the centre line too much, but that happens.
Yeah.
Does the likes of Sam Alderson, from the position she's in, does she sort of control the game a bit like in rugby union? I hate making similarities, but sometimes that's that position she's in, right in the centre of the field, always involved in the attack or the defence. Is that position where she would control the game from?
Yeah, you do naturally get your strong players, but the pivot positions do require that level of just to be the general on the field, really, marshalling the troops where to go, as the fullback does, filling in the gaps on the defence. It just requires that.
Another RAF injury. Neither of these have been serious so far, but obviously good to check. Gives the Royal Navy girls time to collect their thoughts. No score yet here at Burnaby Road. We're still 0-0, but we're only a matter of minutes into this ladies' first match of the Inter-Services Rugby League. We will, of course, be covering two further fixtures. We've got the Army will first play their first bite of the competition up in Odsal, and the tournament finishes up in Manchester. So the rest of the tournament's in the north, Jim. Just these three games in the south.
Yeah, it'll be nice to pop along and get some of the old players back up there.
Are you based up north? Is that where you're at now?
Yeah, Blackpool's where I'm located.
Right, so dead easy if you get to either of those.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I'll be in Belgium next week with work, but
very nice.
So, I wish.
He's not convinced. Yeah, do keep your messages coming in on the Forces News Facebook and YouTube if you can. Let us know who you're supporting and who and maybe please do stay with us. Do stay with us with BFBS. We will stay live for the entirety of this match, and then we'll be back for the men's senior match at 6:30. These Royal Navy women, I mean, we sort of banged on it before we went live, but do you see a constant improvement, Jim? I know the Royal Navy are away at sea a lot, and we hear that with all the sports. They are the smallest service in that, and they have the when they're away for nine months at a time, and unfortunately we are seeing, as I say, that one of the RAF players has now gone off injured. We'll try and find out who that is. I just can't see their shirt number at the moment, but yeah, it is important that these teams have time together, and sometimes with their jobs that just isn't doable.
Yeah, fortunately, quite a few of the players have just got back from the Union camp to South Africa, so they are bonded quite well, so they'll be able to. You can see they're running quite well, to be fair. They're moving forwards, that's good. They're maintaining possession and doing the job. So
Royal Navy start with the ball. Alderson with a kick forward, which bounces quite nicely for the Royal Navy actually, and that is into Sian McLaughlin's hands. She's been taken down, but they're only 10 metres really from their line, so good move here for the Royal Navy. Becky Bowskill there, pushing her way through. And they have got 3 more plays, I think, so. But the RAF keeping them out and actually moving them back a little bit there. A lot of space there on the left wing. They can just get it out. Great tackle. Just need quick ball. Yep, using that space. Oh, handling errors. We're back at the basics there, Jim.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that. It's a lot of effort undone there.
A lot of space there. Yeah.
They had numbers, and yeah, they'd have been good there.
That happens though, doesn't it? I remember my days of not very professional sport. The excitement gets to your head. You catch the ball before it's there, and that sort of thing happens. It was the tempting line of the try line. Yeah,
just early nerves early on in the game. I'm sure they'll get their heads together and sort that out.
So possession back with the RAF, and they'll have a chance to clear their lines because they still find themselves pretty close to the Navy try line. Have you been enjoying some Super League action this season?
Unfortunately not. I'm a Hull FC fan, so...
Okay, so no. I probably should have checked that before I asked, maybe.
No, I've even contemplated going back to Rovers.
Little handling error there as well by the RAF, but it fell. It went backwards, and it's still in light blue possession as they try to clear their lines and get back some possession. We haven't seen a lot of action away from the centre of the field so far in this match.
Yeah, messages keep coming through, so thanks to all of you who are tuning in wherever you are around the world today on Forces News Facebook and YouTube. Jamie Doig is watching. Hi there, Jamie. Good afternoon. Pat and Terry Rudrum. Hi from the Bonnie Isle of Skye, they're saying. And Sue Hughes says, come on, RAF, go Grace, number 10, ex-Warrington Wolves first team player. So there we go.
Grace Houghton Burnett, I think that is. I hope I'm saying that right, Grace, and your family. But yeah, the RAF now got quite a lot of speed on and making a few yards here. They're in their own half, so yeah, they could use. Well, they're using their legs at the moment, but obviously they can use the ball if need be. But some nice working here from the RAF. Oh, some fantastic running there. Still in RAF possession, and they are now have gone from the 10-metre line at the other end to their own 10-metre line, and that's going for a little drop goal, but no, forward, no, into roll. Sorry, I thought she was going for a little drop goal, but actually was just going for a try.
Yeah, she was fortunate to get out there.
Yeah, well taken by the Navy, well handled. That was probably quite a lot of pressure to take that ball.
Yeah, the RAF certainly got that ball circulating round.
Do you think these teams, the funny thing about covering military sport is you often find, I'm not sure that all these girls on this pitch will necessarily be rugby league fans, but it is interesting how many of them play a game but don't actually, they just find themselves playing that game and they're good at it, but they aren't necessarily fans. They won't necessarily have watched any Super League or Women's Rugby League.
Yeah, definitely. When we went up Huddersfield first of all for a few games, we found that we had to educate the girls, actually get them watching games of Super League. Didn't really follow it. They were just tipped up for the sport, and the commitment was there. So it was really good to see. But they're not from the north. It was new to them, a lot of them.
I think you find that a lot of them are playing it because they want to play a lot of sport, and they don't necessarily need to watch it. But would you recommend watching it, just so you can learn a bit more as well?
I think it definitely helps, to understand a bit more the structure to it. Understand when people are shouting shape at you and move, and it helps build your game knowledge and IQ up.
I can see that Jennifer Williams is on for the RAF, so she was obviously the substitute brought on for unfortunate RAF injury. Got some height on her, so she'll probably bring a bit of an advantageous for the light blues there. But we're just checking on the injury of the Royal Navy, and I think they're doing a little assessment as we speak. No points yet here at Burnaby Road. We are in the first game of the Inter-Services Rugby League, the first week at least. We've already seen the development match, which the RAF won 22-12, and it is now the Royal Navy ladies hosting the Royal Air Force ladies. The last time they played, I'll keep reminding you of this, it was a 10-all draw in 2019, and last year the two Blues got together to play against the Army in a sort of COVID hit Inter-Services, which wasn't actually recognised as an official Inter-Services because not all three players, or not all three teams, including in the men's, could put out a team. But here we are, we've got Navy possession, no injury cover, she's fine, and back up, and the Dark Blues are at it again. So the Royal Navy really need to take a book out of the Royal Air Force books and get some distance with their ball. They did manage to get very near their try line, but they need to make as much as they can of this. But RAF defence is strong.
Yeah, they're definitely recovering well from the first few minutes. Hopefully the Navy get back up there.
Kickoff, Holly Cole, Trinity Earnshaw not able to take that one. Kick forward from Sam Alderson, which gives the Royal Navy possession. And we're right on the centre line here. And a reminder, of course, that the senior men's will be playing at 6:30 later this evening. I don't want to give all your secrets away, John, but you've spoken to both those captains, the two Bens. Are they both positive?
Absolutely, both really looking forward, obviously, to the restart of Inter-Services Rugby League after, as you say, after the basically a 2-year hiatus. So they're looking forward to that, and I think we'll be in for shall we say, a competitive match here on this pitch. Very much as this is, no score so far. This game desperately needs a score, doesn't it, to really, spark it into life a bit.
It does. I mean, we moan about the nil-all draws in football and the scoreless, but sometimes that just means it's really close and both teams are sort of well matched. But yeah, you don't want to be reporting on a match that doesn't have a score. It's quite hard to come up with words.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll definitely see something before the half time.
Confident from Jim there. He's hoping, of course, it's a dark blue score.
Definitely. Just need to settle down with them nerves a bit.
Do you think that's what it is? And I don't know how much time these girls have had together. It's almost like a familiarity thing, sort of feeling their way into a team again. It always seems a shame with military sport, but if they don't get enough time together, they peak at like that third game, and then they've got to wait another year to do it again. Yeah,
so far I believe they've only had the one game at London Nines competition, which we used to enter because it's a fabulous contest. It's a great day out. It gets the development teams up to experienced teams. It gives you a good mix. and our guys really benefited from that in the past.
So the ball back in light blue hands as the RAF tried to capitalise on their earlier forward momentum, but that's a bit of a throwaway pass and it's back in Navy possession. The ladies' game, Jim, do you see much width? You know, because a lot of this has been sort of hand to hand, but not a lot of, apart from maybe that nearly try at the other end. Do you think there needs to be more width? There needs to be a bit more sort of on the basic skills, you know, so that you can get it out wide quicker?
Yeah, I think they just need to settle down a bit, play the ball quickly. They're a bit slow at the moment. You know, the RAF's defence is quite sturdy and on them, so just need to focus on them core skills and settle down really into the game. But you know what? Dare say, if they get one past them, you know, that'll probably be the settler from that, you know.
Right. Yeah, sometimes getting a score on the board settles those nerves, and then...
it does, yeah.
So back in with the RAF at the moment. Yeah, it just feels like they've got space out wide and they need to use it, and that goes for both teams, I think.
Yeah, definitely. As we saw when the Navy were up there, they had numbers, they had gaps. There's definitely some space to capitalise on it. Just need to sort them handling errors.
Although now we've just seen two superb runs through the middle of four defenders, and the RAF are very close to their try line.
Yeah, they seem to be talking. They got their heads up. That's a good sign. But just need to watch that ball moving.
Lovely to try for the light blues. As we were talking, someone needed to score, and there we have it. I think that's Chelsea Greasley who went over the try line there, and that'll be 4 points to the RAF ladies.
Yeah, the game certainly needed that, didn't it? It's a really good period of possession there for the RAF, and just beginning to show a bit of domination, I think.
Well, it's interesting because I'd literally just said how much they needed to play out wide, and they went straight down the middle and completely defied anything that I had to say. So I clearly don't know what I'm talking about. But two very strong runs, one from Jennifer Williams, and another strong run led to that try. And what they did is they went down the middle and drew in the defenders, and then Chelsea Greasley, aptly named, greased her way through for more. So we'll see if we can add 2 points and a conversion here. And this is the aforementioned Alex Barnes. Oh, hits the post. So unfortunate for Alex. So the Royal Air Force remain just 4 points ahead. But yeah, Jim, we needed that score, and I think that'll be a spur on to the Royal Navy women, what they needed.
Yeah, I think they need to just wrap up in them tackles complete and make sure they're not being slick with that ball, because that's what is the downfall at the minute. The RAF are just getting rid of the ball in the tackle and offloading, and it's doing them no favours at the minute.
I wonder if the likes of having someone, Alex having just missed a kick there, but someone like Alex Barnes who's played at the sort of top level, you know, just having that confidence of someone having in your team, you know, sort of makes a lot of difference.
It does, yeah. It builds your confidence from the start, from the get-go, and you know, people will be looking to them for advice. The Navy squad, you know, the young development team, and they've got advice in there. You know, they've got the seasoned players, which is like good, like Sam. Like Sam, yeah.
RAF back in RAF hands, but they are back in their own half. So it is 4 points to nothing here at Burnaby Road. The RAF currently in the lead. They're following along the lines of the development game, which was played earlier between the two academy men's sides. The RAF winning that 22 points to 12, and the RAF women here up by just a slim 4 points. Alex Barnes there, and she can certainly control the game. And Jennifer Williams is making a massive impact since she's come on as an injury replacement.
Yeah, I recognise from previous games she's a strong runner.
Yes, that's definitely, she sort of started the movement for that last try. And also you've got Sia Filisau, who seems to be once they've done a strong run, they pass it off to her and she feeds it off to the next strong runner. But yeah, it does seem that the RAF are on the up at the moment, having just scored that first try.
Yeah, that's the best way. You're a bit tired after a defensive set. You just keep pushing and try and force the errors.
Ooh. Is there such a thing as a high tackle in rugby league, Jim? Because that was pretty high.
Yeah, it was, yeah. I think there was a bit of anticipation there for both players.
I see it coming. So Sam Alderson given a chance to basically a penalty kick, isn't it? Given that high tackle. RAF player just receiving some treatment there on the field as well before Sam takes a kick. Tell you what, it's warm down here, Jim. I was promised rain and there's sunshine. What's that all about?
Yeah, it's been up and down all week, really. It's just can't make its mind up at the minute.
No, I brought 3 jackets just in case. Lightweight, heavyweight, massive rain jacket. Don't need any of them. So welcome to anyone who's joining us. We've had quite a few comments. What I do love about our audience is they are stuck out in the middle of nowhere sometimes, and I'm glad that we can bring you these games from the UK for your pleasure. Just a reminder that this is the first full inter-services we've had since 2019, and this is the first of 3 weeks of action down here at Burnaby Road. And the Royal Navy women are down by 4 points. The Royal Air Force have made a good start here, and they are 1 try up. Certainly a lot of talking on the pitch, Jim. I know that that's crucial, especially when you don't play together that often.
Yeah, it's real good to see that, you know, they're not being quiet, they're communicating, which is good, especially with those junior players. It just lets them know, supports them.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Jennifer Williams has made a real impact since coming on. She's on everything, defensive and attack.
Yeah, she's definitely in there, getting stuck in. Just seemed to be a bit delayed on the play the ball there. I think there's a couple of players that are quite nervous about it.
There's that sort of that saying of feet in tar, and on the pickups at the moment, the Royal Navy in particular seem to be a little cautious in a way.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're probably Union players that have chopped over, being drafted in for the last minute game. And
oh, that could be a takeover. Navy can get that down. Wonderful. I mean, lucky, but that was well picked up. Really lovely finish.
Yeah, it was a lucky bounce on that one.
Lucky bounce, but it was missed by an RAF player. It should have been taken by the RAF, and the Navy have properly capitalised on that. So we have a 4-4 here at Burnaby Road, and the Navy will be delighted with that, because I'm pretty sure Sam will be confident of getting converting that into 6 points.
Yeah, it's good to see.
And that was, if I'm right, Heather Addison Prout there at centre who went over. Is that correct? Yeah. She was small and blonde. I'm pretty sure that was who it was. Heather, my no apologies. I've just credited that to you. Let's hope it was. But yeah, Sam Alderson now with a chance to convert 6 points and put these Royal Navy ladies ahead here at Burnaby Road. 2022 Inter-Services Rugby League. Clean, lovely. Well done, Sam Alderson. So the Royal Navy women have come back. They are now 6 points to 4 to the good, and they are leading this inter-services fixture against the Royal Air Force. Of course, Royal Air Force got off to a good start with their 4-pointer, but Alex Barnes failed to convert, hitting the post. So we have an exciting, close match here at Burnaby Road. Do keep watching. Do let us know where you're watching from, and you know, who you're supporting. I know that a lot of families are pleased that we can get these live feeds to you wherever you are in the world. So, yeah, give us a shout out, give your girls a shout out, especially if I'm getting their names wrong or calling out the wrong people for tries, because that's happened a lot. So the Royal Navy, having scored that try and converted, are back in possession and pushing forward, and that will give them so much confidence, Jim. We were just talking, you know, their feet look like they're written tar, and maybe that will perk them up a little bit.
Yeah, they're just a few scrappy areas that they're handling, you know, not using their feet to stop the ball. Just need to settle down into it now. Make sure they get strong with this small lead they've got and try and get more.
I mean, I know that last try came from really an RAF mistake and not sort of picking up the ball, not catching the ball on the try line. But that was quite champagne rugby league in a way, because you dream of scoring tries like that off a mistake or off a long kick. You know, you do dream of stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. It's definitely a game of opportunity.
So both the Royal Air Force ladies and the Royal Navy ladies know that they can score and know that they can follow up. So both players now, both teams at least, are full of confidence as they both got a score, and there is only 2 points in it, so that's nothing really in the big scheme of things. We've got obviously at least another half and another 10 minutes of this first half to play here at Burnaby Road. Royal Air Force are G'd up for this one. You know, they got the lead early on, and it's always a bit galling to then be hit straight back with a score and also to have it bettered. They find themselves 6-4 down. With plenty of time to put that right. Alex Barnes here through the middle. Lovely run, absolutely lovely run. She's controlling it. She wants to go all the way. She's put it down. Fantastic. Right in the corner before she was taken off.
Yeah, it was quite fortunate to ground that.
And the one outstretched arm from Leeds Rhinos player Alex Barnes there, showing her, well, superior skill a little bit, carving her way through the defence there, and she will also be able to convert her own try. She hit the post last time, but the Royal Air Force women have hit straight back. They're 8 to 6 points up. 8 points up to the Royal Navy 6, and actually Alex Barnes isn't going to take the kick. I think that is Rachel Robertson. Has she come on? Excuse me, that's Katie Allen. So this is quite a tough one. Were you a kicker in your day, Jim? I mean, that's a pretty long one.
I used to fancy myself as one, but
we all do, I think.
No, I was too busy having a breather. After a bit,
hanging out.
I was a forward, yeah. So.
Okay, you've done all the hard work then.
Yeah.
Keeping them out. Let's see if the Royal Air Force can convert this. It doesn't quite have the legs, so they are in the lead, the light blues. They lead 8 points to 6. 2 tries to 1 try, but of course the Royal Navy were able to convert their try. So it's 8.6 here at Burnaby Road. John.
Just a few more thoughts coming in from around the globe at the moment, Kath. Interesting. You've heard of Ash Coates, haven't you, of course?
Oh, Ash, where is he these days? I can't keep track.
He says, good luck, RAF ladies, and Grace, number 10. Well, I've got a feeling there's a family connection with that somewhere. But Cole Pownall has said, want Grace to do well? but the RN to win. So
Ooh,
a
tough.
few mixed sort of...
You get that a lot, don't you?
There's a few mixed messages coming through there.
Yeah.
Maybe you can confirm that one for us, because I think, Ash, we need to make sure you are shouting for the Navy. I'll be very surprised if you weren't.
Yeah, Ash, is he in anymore? Isn't he out of the Navy now?
I've got a feeling Ash is no longer serving.
So maybe he doesn't.
But they say once a Matlow, always a Matlow. Is that right?
That's what Rog the cameraman would say. We've kept it very Navy. Rog, ex-Matlow. I don't know if you can hear me on comms over there, but he's got a smirk on his arms. Sorry, back to the game. We're talking about rugby union, John. That's sacrilege when you're at a rugby league game. But the RAF here in possession. And they will be jeered on by that score, 8 points to 6. They lead here at Burnaby Road. Just a reminder, of course, that we are live on Forces News Facebook and YouTube, which I'm sure where you're hearing us from. We're also live on BFBS Sport. So plenty of ways to watch these inter-services matches this season. Alex Barnes again, of course, who's scored a wonder try just a few minutes ago. She cuts her trade up at Leeds Rhinos. So she's got plenty of experience. Yeah, so it looks like the Light Blues are really taking it to Royal Navy women at the moment. And they just need to keep strong and keep believing. Done it once, they can do it again. Oh, Alex carrying at least 2 defenders there. But it's RAF ball and they are making the best of it. RAF have gone again for that forward kick. Oh, just like what happened at the other end, but the Navy have managed to pick this up and it's safe. I think that went forward. But Royal Navy there in possession.
Yeah, I think the referee was a bit generous with that one.
Very. Almost like a forward, well, definitely a forward pass. But he's let that one go, so we'll let it go. Royal Navy have the ball. It was the end of the set anyway, but very fortunate really then that the Royal Navy picked it up, because we almost saw a mirror image try of when the Royal Navy scored at the other end. A mistake in defence. Some big hits going in here in the middle of the field.
Yeah, Jodie Mills there, she's a strong UCAF player as well. She's picked up for them a few times.
I love the way that you can hear that skin-on-skin sort of collision in rugby league, and I love it. call me sick for it, but you don't hear that in union. It's like more of a oof, whereas in rugby league you hear that smack of skin-on-skin.
Yeah, there's some pretty brutal tackles.
Yeah.
I think I might have cleared up the mystery revolving Ash Coates. Okay. This is actually a different Ash Coates. Okay, says Ash Coates says, to be honest, Royal Navy Ash Coates is my namesake. I was RAF police and I know Grace. Ash, thanks for clearing that up.
Amazing.
I never even thought there'd be more than one Ash Coates kicking, because as far as I'm concerned, there's only one Ash Coates.
Well, when you said Ash Coates, yes. Well, there's an RAF one as well. That is interesting. Well, that makes sense then. It's when I hear there are other Kath Braziers in the world.
Mystery solved.
Yeah. Well, all the best to both Ash Coates and any other Ash Coates there are in the world that have tuned in. Oh, lovely kick forward there from Alex Barnes. And maybe it should be able to pick her up her own. No, but whose ball is that? RAF ball? Oh no, gone backwards.
Yeah, very scrappy that.
Yeah. When you were coaching, Jim, skills like taking the high ball must have been something that you know, really, because we've seen already how crucial that is. There have been 3 or 4 misses in this game that have led to tries, or at least, you know, nearly tries. So it must have been a skill that you must have hammered into the girls.
One of the things we used to do was concentrate on the core skills, get an equal balance of you know, building onto the team, especially when you're in inter-service camp. You know, you have a plan that you're going to be there for 3 weeks. Realistically, you probably get about 3 training sessions in. It's horrendous, but I'd start the camp off with core skills, taking high ball, taking off the ground, all those good stuff, and, you know, build up and then get together as a team and bring it all together, try a bit of structure.
Yeah, high ball has proved to be quite crucial in this match so far, as you join us at Burnaby Road for the first week of inter-services rugby league action that we've seen since 2019. We have, of course, had matches, or rugby league matches at least, between the services in that time, but there haven't been an official inter-services due to the Royal Navy not being able to put out a team last year for the men, and the Royal Air Force women and the Royal Navy women teaming up against the Army last year, and we are very close again to another RAF try line, but it's been pulled back. So that will be... What was that infringement for, Jim? Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, I'm struggling to see that one myself.
Yeah.
It was something that happened a few passes back, I think.
Yeah, I think Royal Air Force did cross the line there, but there'd already been an infringement, so it's going to be a Royal Navy put in.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of excitement there and they got carried away.
I do that when I'm 10 metres from a try line. So the Royal Navy then will start their set here. Oh, nice palm off there from Sam Alderson, and to try scorer. So the RAF here, RAF ladies are in the lead, 8 points to 6. As we come up to run very close to half time here at Burnaby Road, and we'll bring you a bit of rugby union action in the half time break. Just have a look at what other teams are up to around the Forces world. And then we'll be back for the second half, and of course John Knighton will be with you later for the men's senior match at 6:30, so do stay with us for some late afternoon, early evening entertainment here on BFBS, the Forces News Facebook and YouTube channel, and you can also catch us on BFBS Sport, and also my colleague Craig is and Kyle as well will be putting up highlights on the BFBS Sport Twitter page, so if you can't watch the whole game, then do catch the highlights there later. Impromptu hug there between two of the players. I think there must have been some infringement. They're just apologising to each other. Very ladylike game here.
Yeah, it's has its ups and downs.
Yes. I mean, it's brutal, but, you know, then we see a hug like that.
Yeah, Featherstone back in 2019, it got a bit heated.
Is that the men's game or the women's game?
The ladies,
oh,
yeah.
Right.
We went to extra time and it went very close to the wire, and tempers did get frayed.
Crikey.
Huge amount of support actually coming in for the RAF's number 20, Grace, who we've already been talking about. Her mum was RAF and is admin with me, says Cole Pownall at St Helens Armed Forces Veterans Breakfast Club. She says, wow. I'm ex-Royal Navy, so the Breakfast Club was split support this morning, but we all want Grace to do well, as she comes from a very strong rugby family. So it's great to hear support for players coming through.
And thanks to anyone, particularly players, if they've heard about our live streams in advance, and I think what they do is they pass it on to family and friends, which is why we get such a wide spectrum, John, of viewers from around the Forces world. So, you know, we are sort of doing our best to bring what we can to you, and we're doing it for you. You know, that's what we want to see. That's why we want to hear the comments.
Well, of course, we were absolutely amazed the other night down in Portsmouth at Plymouth. The support we were getting
further away than Portsmouth, yeah,
from the other code, from supporters of the Australian and New Zealand players. People were actually getting up at 4:30 in the morning to watch over in Australia. And it was magnificent. So we're delighted to get all the engagement we had over there, and that's the great beauty of showing these matches, of course, on our social media platforms, because you can tell us what you think, good or bad, and we'll read it out, won't we, Kath? We'll actually say whatever people think. Well,
I think there is a limit, John.
There is a limit, yeah.
We don't want to encourage some crass comments, please, on Facebook, but we will read it out if you can. Just to say, sorry, while we were having that conversation, John, we've had another RAF injury, so we'll try and find out who the replacement is there, but it's in RAF hands, and they are very close to their try line. Jennifer Williams there again with the ball, playing a good 1-2 with Alex Barnes. They seem to have figured something out there in the middle, and here they've got width again. Jim didn't use it.
Yeah, they had opportunities there but kept hold of it.
Oh, Alex Barnes with a quick, that's lovely taken by Alderson. Yeah, I think both teams are aware of this sort of nervousness under the high ball and trying to take quick advantage of it, but conversely both teams are now learning and taking that high ball much better than they were to begin with. So yeah, the Navy have it back.
Yeah, the Navy are quite fortunate. They've got some experience. They just need to calm the younger ones down, take them under the wing and look after them.
8-6 it is here at Burnaby Road. Well, 6-8 I should probably say, because the hosts, of course, are the Royal Navy, and they are 1 try and 1 conversion, and the Royal Air Force women have 2 tries but have not converted either of their scores yet. But it is in Royal Navy hands as we get ever closer to half-time here at Burnaby Road in the first game of the Inter-Services 2022. First full Inter-Services action we've seen since 2019.
One person who I really thought would be watching today, and definitely is, of course, is the Army head coach, Warren Was-Broadley. He's watching and said really enjoying the contest. I'm sure he's making copious notes as we speak, Kath. And also Pat Terry Rudham said, Sean McKenna, how are you, shippers? Long time, buddy. Alec Fraser says, go RAF from all at St Helens. I think that a bit more support then coming in for Grace. So yeah, thanks for those messages. Keep them coming in.
Grace is on some kind of commission by the sounds of it. Getting in some viewers. But yeah, fantastic to hear from him. Hear from all. Kate Allen there in light blue colours, making a real pain of herself there in the middle of the road. M. Ferguson with a lovely run there. I hope people aren't taking notes on our commentary, John. Probably get a critique of that later. That's often where the crass comments come, you see, Jim. And you'll get crated. You know you can still get crated as a reserve.
Yeah. I try and keep a low profile nowadays, but it's not helping.
And then we come along and go, do you want to broadcast to the Forces World?
Yeah. People will be saying I can't let go.
RAF again finding themselves in a very familiar position near the try line, but Royal Navy defence is strong. But it could be that a kick is in order here somewhere. Oh, lovely, use the width. That's Kate Allen again. She's been pretty central to this team so far. And the RAF piling up the numbers here on the left wing.
Yeah, they've got some confidence with that ball.
They really do. Trinity Earnshaw, who actually was unfortunately the one who missed the high ball at the other end, which resulted in a Royal Navy score, but holding on to the ball there, and they've gone for the high kick again, but that's out of play. Slight waste, really. I mean, the high ball has worked, so I can understand why they they're using it, but that was almost a bit panic, and the Royal Navy giving them a few metres. So we're very close to half-time here at Burnaby Road. The hosts, the Royal Navy ladies, have 6 points. The Royal Air Force, the visitors, have 8. Which is as tight as we imagined it would be. The last time these two teams met was in 2019, and it was a 10-all draw. Was that was the one at Featherstone, was it? That was a bit heated.
Yeah, it was a great game. It was definitely a good effort from both sides, and to give good account of each other.
Well, the likelihood is, of course, is they've been brewing on that for the last 3 years during the pandemic, and here they are again, able to, well, I say redeem themselves, but 10-all's difficult. A draw's a difficult thing to stomach sometimes when you want to win.
Yeah, the focus was right, next game. Couldn't wait to get back into
game. 3 years later, oh, another miss there. But the RAF have picked it up. Really lovely run here from the RAF. Gosh, couldn't make it all the way, but she's made it quarter way out the pitch. Promising signs here.
Yeah, it was good run that.
That is Hannah McCabe with that run. Got some wheels on her. Oh, and then we have half-time here at Burnaby Road. It is 8 points to 6. The RAF lead in the first game of the inter-services. The ladies here, of course, you will be able to catch up with the men's game later at 6:30. John Nyson will be live on Forces News, Facebook and YouTube. We're also on BFBS Sport. Jim, I don't know if we're going to see you in the second half, but we'll hold on to you as long as you can. Just give us your half-time sort of remit on that. What would you say for that at half-time in terms of both teams?
Yeah, I think the RAF are definitely defending strong, even getting some strong runs in there. So just for them, keep doing what they're doing. For the Navy, I'd be having words with up the intensity and steady on with the handling errors. They seem to be lacking a bit of confidence and intensity in the play of the ball. So just settle the nerves a bit and just give them that little boost.
How does this compare to where they were at in 2019? You say that was a feisty game, but does this look like a team starting again, or two teams starting again, or are we sort of seeing a progression from where they were in 2019?
Well, I've definitely seen the progression in the players that were there during my time. They've developed quite well, and I can see that they've proven themselves. There's a couple of new faces in there, and I think it's just integrating them into the team like anything. They've probably only had one training session this week, and that's it. They're amongst it, so a bit of time on the ball, and it'll grow with time.
You said it yourself, Jim. You haven't been able to let go. It's your decision to be here in Portsmouth, but I don't really like the idea of sport as pure entertainment. It's about them. They've got to do a job to do, and sometimes it's not entertaining. But you clearly are being drawn back into the world of Inter-Services Rugby League, and they put on a good show, and that's why we're here. We've got three really good games of Inter-Services Rugby League.
Yeah, for me, my aim was always that 3-year plan, and hopefully I was going to have somebody, develop another coach and bring them in as I went out the door. But unfortunately, the 3-year plan become a 2-year plan, and I try and help out as much as I can when I can. But at the minute, the location and my real job takes up that time, so that's a shame.
Well, thank you, Jim. We are going to go to a different sport now. We're going to go to a different code at least, and just to show you some Forces highlights of rugby union, just to give us a bit of a break here for commentary, but do stay with us, and we'll be back with the second half of the Royal Navy ladies against Royal Air Force ladies after a little break here.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Chislett and this is In Case You Missed It. There's a real rugby feel to this week's In Case You Missed It, with plenty of RAF representation in the upcoming Women's World Cup. Amy Cocaine's been named in the England squad for the delayed tournament in New Zealand. Flight Lieutenant returns to the country where she grew up with one of the pre-tournament favourites, following England's recent run of 25 consecutive Test victories.
Across those 25 games, there's been a lot of depth. You know, we've played so many different varieties. Whatever 15's on that pitch at the time, hopefully we'll get the job done. You know, as a nation, they love rugby, but yeah, personally, having lived out there for 8 years, hopefully see some familiar faces. I think the whole thing's just going to be an amazing tournament.
Amy's RAF colleague and Harlequins teammate Sarah Bernard is also on her way to New Zealand. She was named in the Scotland squad last week. It's the Dudley's first World Cup in 12 years.
From a preparation perspective, we've had a few months together now to train, which we haven't had before, which is hopefully going to put us in a good place come the tournament.
Yet another RAF star, Carys Williams-Morris, will be there, this time in the red of Wales. The former England back recently made her debut for the country of her parents. New rules allow eligible capped players to switch allegiances after a 3-year stand-down period.
It's kind of the last few months has been the first kind of taste of professionalism. The girls feel really good and really positive about it, and we just want to go and do a job out in New Zealand.
Sticking with rugby union, and the Army have named a new head coach of the women's senior team. Sarah Mitchelson from the Royal Logistic Corps has 34 Army caps and played more than 200 times for Wasps women. The Warrant Officer Class 2 is a Level 3 qualified coach.
We've actually got 6 championship bouts, a very first ever UCAF women's title fight.
Has she got the legs? Yes, take it all the way. What a lovely run.
In the third and final period, the Army ran riot again.
There's nice symmetry how they're
I know, it's weird. It's almost like they've done it on purpose.
Yeah. It's like watching Anthem.
Observing a minute's silence in the late September sun. This was the first outing for the UCAF side since the disappointment of not retaining the Kentish Cup earlier this year. With a small squad of 14 and a handful of debutants involved, the first quarter looked nervy and a little rusty. The students took advantage and were gifted a penalty after Joe Thomas stuck his foot out inside the box. It was successfully converted by the home side and they were 1 up. Another couple of close calls, but as half-time approached, the military side started to relax into the game. And just before the break, Jake Gosling equalised. It was all square 1-1 at the interval. Early on in the second half, a long cross kick from Gosling met Mike Campbell's head before captain Danny Kerr deftly helped the ball into the net to put the visitors 2-1 up. Shots were made at both ends, but nothing really to trouble the keepers. And for the most part, the final quarter was all UCAF. Gosling in the action again with a curling corner, making it 3-1. And although Hartbury briefly rallied and forced a free kick, they were unsuccessful. Mike Campbell sealing the 4-1 win by connecting with a brilliant cross from Sean Powell. A good start to the season for the UCAF boys, but as always, still plenty to work on going forward.
We haven't been together since the Kentish. No excuses really. We did have limited numbers. We couldn't do a great deal. We met yesterday, trained for a couple of hours, and we knew that this was going to be a tough test today. They're a good outfit. They play in the Bucks. University championships every year, and they're a competitive team, so they're up there. So we knew it was going to be a tough game. But it was difficult first half. We went with a different formation because of the bodies that we had, and we had to work out what they were doing. And obviously, they caused us a few issues. Didn't really get in behind us too much, but obviously, we just took time to understand what they were about. So we made a change halfway through that first half, or towards the end of the first half, formation-wise, and then we just implemented 1 or 2 of the things at half-time and how we wanted to play. And I think we managed to get back into the game. lucky to get that goal before maybe first half, and guys had a great finish. But no, I'm just more than happy second half with the performance, because yeah, we didn't.
And welcome back to Burnaby Road. We are here and ready for the second half as Sam Alderson kicks off for the Royal Navy. They are 6 points and the Royal Air Force women are 8 points here in the first game of the Inter-Services Rugby League at Burnaby Road. I hope you enjoyed your half-time entertainment. A little bit of rugby union there for you, and some UK Armed Forces football from their first game of the season after the disappointment of not retaining the Kentish Cup earlier this year. But we are talking rugby league now, and I'm here with Jim Bowen, who is the former Royal Navy women's head coach, giving me some well-needed rugby league insight and knowledge into this game. And Jim, an enjoyable first half, but probably a bit stuck in the mud in a way. We got scores out of it, but hoping for a bit more faster feet in this second half.
Yeah, they came out quite strong there with a few tackles, but just need to settle down again into it, just stop those errors.
So it's back in RAF hands, and they are two tries to the good, to the Royal Navy's one converted try, so 8 points to 6 here at Burnaby Road. And Alex Barnes there from Leeds Rhinos in control, and she really has taken control of the game. Just her experience telling, just even that. I mean, she moved at least a couple of metres there with ball in hand. Royal Air Force have come out firing here for the second half, and they've used this high ball a lot, but this should end up in Royal Navy hands, and it does. They've got better at that.
Yeah, it was a good little off-guard that.
Another lovely run by the Royal Navy try scorer there. And a reminder that John Knighton will be here, of course, at 6:30 with the men's match. Of course, we haven't seen any full-blown Inter-Services Rugby League since 2019, so we're so glad to be back in action and have 3 weeks of this coming up. The second games will be in Odsal, and at the beginning of October there's games up in Salford. And of course the Army, who are... There's the handbags you saw at Featherstone. There you go.
Yeah.
Not quite as bad, but...
There's a bit more biff when we was at Featherstone, but...
It's good to see that the women can bring it as well as the men.
Yeah, they definitely show the lads up sometimes.
Sam Alderson here back in Royal Navy hands, and she'll kick it into touch. So the Navy have made quite a good load of distance there, but of course it will be their ball. And good news for us mostly, because although we're undercover here, Jim, at Burnaby Road, when the rain comes sideways, as it tends to in Portsmouth, I'm not sure we would have stayed dry. So I'm hoping that rain is holding off for most of the evening.
Yeah, I was tempted to wear shorts. It's tropical Portsmouth.
It's quite warm. Royal Navy making the most of that distance they made on that kick, but really need to get these tackles in. Lovely. Absolutely. Just breezed through 2 tackles there. Absolutely took it to the Royal Air Force. Lovely try from the Royal Navy.
Yeah, I think that was Joe Supanovi.
And you spoke about Josie earlier.
Yeah, she's a good little double act with Jodie Mills. They're both strong girls. Got strength and strong runners.
Excellent. Well, she made a mockery of the Royal Air Force defence, quite frankly, there, and I thought she was running a good line, but that she'd get taken out, and she just palmed off both of them and crossed over for another try. So that is now 10 points to the Royal Navy and 8 points to the Royal Air Force. So Royal Navy yet to well, they converted actually their kick. They converted their first try, and Sam Alderson here with a slightly more difficult one from the right wing. We'll see if she can slot this one over. It's 10-8 to the Royal Navy. again, hasn't quite got the legs, unfortunately, but the Royal Navy are back in front, 10 points to 8. Absolutely brilliant, Jim. To be quite honest, the RAF looked like they had the momentum, but the Royal Navy have, well, stuck it to them there, really.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Just come out strong and let them know you mean business. Again, they'll have possession now, so RAF will be defending, keep that pressure on.
We've seen a lot of, you know, both teams working well as teams, but you've certainly seen a lot of individual skill, haven't we, from a number of players. Names that you've remembered, Josie's score there, for example, Sam Alderson with the good kicks forwards, getting them distance. But the RAF side as well, we've seen that the skills of Alex Barnes just taking the kick off there, and Jennifer Williams with another one to note. And I probably should mention Grace, seeing as her fans are watching from far afield, but Grace has certainly played an integral game in this as well. Royal Navy ball, but the RAF have pushed them back a good couple of metres there.
Yeah, Becky Bowskill, she's another character that joined us in development and then has done well over the past couple of years. She spent a couple of tours, runs out with the UCAF.
Yeah, I mean, because the Army is so dominant, what does the UCAF side sort of look like in terms of Royal Navy and Royal Air Force? Do you reckon you've got a good reflection of... And we've got a runner here. Really lovely run there from the Royal Navy.
Yeah, they need to support her a bit better, I think. But yeah, we had a bolter.
I think she thought she had the legs then, but Royal Air Force put in a good tackle. I think that was Heather, if I'm not wrong. It was Heather Addison-Prout who scored that first try for the Royal Navy. So she's definitely got some wheels. Likes the try line. But yeah, UCAF, you know, do you think the Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force women are well presented in that side?
Yeah, from what I saw during my tenure, there was definitely a good balance between the RAF and ourselves, and it was the head coach Danny was really good at selecting some players that had potential, and that was unfortunate.
That was an unfortunate drop. That was a good old hoik from Sam Alderson, but unfortunately Molly Ellis not able to pick that one up.
Yeah, I think they need to work on those high balls.
It didn't necessarily look, it looked quite straight rather than, it wasn't forward, but I'm not entirely sure it was that backwards either, but a bit of a risky pass.
Yeah, just need to settle that confidence a bit. You know, they've got the points on the board, but
it looks more like they're waiting for the ball to drop rather than going to the ball, which I think would show the confidence if you go to the ball rather than wait for it to come to you, because then you risk an interception. And
yeah, they seem to be a bit stagnant, like you were saying.
RAF put in there, and they're straight out of the ball. So the Royal Navy women are 10 points to the RAF 8, and it's been a bit like a yo-yo match here at Burnaby Road. The Royal Navy scored first, and then we had a couple of scores from the RAF, and we're back with the Royal Navy in the lead. So the lead has changed a couple of times, as we'd expect in a match with two evenly matched sides. But that is Royal Air Force ball.
Yeah, just a bit of rip in the ball there. I think maybe there is a few players that are cross-coded there and been drafted in.
So explain that, ripping the ball not allowed in league, or
just a one-on-one player,
right,
so there was two players in the tackle.
Right. Wow. Probably the biggest hit we've seen this afternoon. There's that skin on skin. Right, Royal Navy really showing some intent. I mean, the RAF came out firing, but quite honestly, the Royal Navy have got, feel like they've got a point to prove.
Yeah, definitely. They've had a word with themselves, I think, and up that tempo.
They're really taking it to these RAF girls here. And they have, of course, the advantage. They're 10 points to 8 up. Sorry if you hear any fruity language in the background. We're not responsible for exterior content. Burnaby Road is always well peopled, and it is a Friday night, Jim. So
yeah,
you get what you come for.
Quite a turnout.
John.
Fantastic atmosphere,
Yeah,
Kath, isn't it, in the stand here? I mean, you know, it must be great for the players to have that sort of this sort of atmosphere to play in front. Just a couple of mentions into this second half. Let's just say, great first half from the RAF, says Sue Hughes. Keep it up. Well, the Navy really have been very strong in the second half, haven't they? They've done really, really well. And message from Sean Griffiths says, come on RAF ladies. And yeah, Kaylee Winter says, Green League at last, proper rugby, says Jonathan Shepherd. Well, there you go. Keep those messages coming in. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, like you said, it's been a bit of a yo-yo match. I mean, I felt that the RAF came out of the blocks after half time, but it was the Royal Navy who scored. But yeah, the Royal Air Force now back with the ball and looking determined.
Yeah, they definitely got the confidence for getting that ball around the pitch.
And that high ball again at the end of a set. And that may well fall for Alex Barnes, and she is over! Wow!
Yeah,
kicked her own kick, ran through that was amazing, Jim. I mean, that's champagne again, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of that today.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're relying on the high kick, but it's working for both sides. And the RAF now back in front. That's 12 points to them, and we'll see. I mean, pretty easy. I say this not being a kicker, but that's probably the easiest conversion kick they're ever going to have. And they are well, they've already put the points on the board, Jim.
Yeah,
they're assuming she can't miss this.
Yeah,
it's actually 12-10, but they've put 14 already. Overconfident scorers we have here at Burnaby Road.
There was a 19 earlier.
That is generous. Let's hope she gets this one. Brilliant, that's over. So it is 14-10, and we're yo-yoing back to an RAF lead here at Burnaby Road in the second half of the Women's Inter-Services Rugby League, the first weekend of action. We've obviously got two more matches where the Army will feature in Odsal and Salford coming up for you here live on BFBS Sport, on the Forces News Facebook site and YouTube channel. But the RAF are back in front. The lead has changed at least 4 times here at Burnaby Road. It's a brilliant game, it's an exciting game. The teams are getting better and better, so I'm excited for their next 2 matches as well. The RAF now with the lead. A reminder that these two teams last met against each other in Inter-Services Rugby in a 10-all draw, and as co-commentator Jim Bowen says, it was feisty up in Featherstone. This one not so feisty, but really good rugby. They've both got a game plan and they're sticking to it.
Yeah, they seem to be playing it simple, and it's just the handling that's letting the Navy down at the minute. But you know, they are chasing down. The defence picked up and the tempo has got better in the second half.
Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying having to stay neutral?
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I just love rugby across the board. So.
Good. So the Royal Navy now, well, the Royal Air Force back in possession, but the Royal Navy will look to see if they can seesaw this match again. But well, both sides battling, I guess, because they know that this is, you know, they've both got to face the Army, so this is a good, you know, they've got to perfect their game in this before they go up against the Army.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's the best way to have the first game. Settles everyone. You know, the Army game is always an hard one.
Yeah,
it takes its toll on players, and over the years we suffered a lot of injuries in the past from it. You know, the experience against development players, it's almost unfair at points. But,
yeah,
but that's the nature of the game.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing where it might turn someone off a game if they have a really bad game and you know, they sort of feel like they've let the team down. It may turn them off. It's one of the, it's difficult. I mean, we see it a lot with women's sport generally at the moment, and I'm, when it's not professional, you don't want to turn people off. You don't. There's so many other sports that you can play in this country that you want to keep hold of the people you've got, but you also don't want to put them through that horrible experience of failing in their head. We don't necessarily think they've, but it's a hard one to sort of come to, and as a coach, it must have been difficult to sort of manage personalities as well as skill sets.
Yeah, there was a lot of that with the selection of players when you find you're having to choose junior players, and some of the girls were like, "Are you sure?" And it's like, well, one, we haven't got the luxury of picking anyone else, and two, you've got to find your feet at some point. So. And you had to manage them afterwards as well, if those that had injuries, to make sure that they had that aftercare, and to try and get them back into the squad and allow them to train with us. We had a number of girls who were injured, and we just kept them alongside us as they would do with a Super League club, where their players are training alongside and physioing and all that good stuff.
I'm glad you mentioned the management of them as people and not just as players, because that's a big talking point across the board at the moment. Is as a coach, are you managing a team or are you managing individuals? What did you find was the best mindset? Did you find you were managing to the individual or as a collective, or is there a choice?
I think you pick and choose your times when it's needed. Sometimes there's a time to focus on the individual, but you need to have that balance of the team as well, and we had a good team ethos, and that's the thing I wanted to build, was that team, that core, keep the girls together as a family, and a tight-knit bunch. And when we had a player on the wings, injured, we'd get around them and pick them up and support them through that.
Just a bit of a drinks break here at Bennerby Road. So a reminder of the score. The host, the Royal Navy, are at 10. The Royal Air Force have 14. And it's been a bit of a seesaw. Just one of the RAF girls going off with an injury, and a Navy player as well. So, just an RAF injury, unfortunately. They've had about 3 or 4, unfortunately. So they've brought on their full quota, I think, of substitutes. But the Royal Air Force in the lead here, and it has been a bit of a seesaw match, which is what we like to see. We don't want to see one distinct winner. We want to see 2 evenly matched teams, and these certainly have lived up to the hype. But Royal Navy there with ball in hand as they look into the final quarter of this match here. Inter-Services is back. We have not seen a competitive fixture since 2019, so it's a pleasure to be back on the mic. Wherever you are around the world, please do keep your comments coming in. John Knighton is on Facebook, spends his life on Facebook, just looking up your comments, so please let us know who you're supporting. If you're one of Grace Horton Burnett's family, I think she's paying you. Another massive hit there put in by the RAF. Things are getting interesting out here in the middle. Yeah, they're sort of waiting for that to fall rather than going to it again. But RAF back in possession at the end of the Royal Navy set. This is the aforementioned Grace. Oh, she's wearing 20. I'm confused. Maybe that is Grace. Jennifer Williams has been a stalwart for the RAF. Alex Barnes there. And the RAF are firing and using that high ball tactic again. Alex hoping to pick up her own kick, which she has for a second time. Yeah, well done, Alex Barnes. I mean, again, the Royal Navy will be kicking themselves because that ball just sat there for her, and it was really theirs to take. But Alex Barnes taking that I guess a bit of a gamble, but betting on herself, and she's gone through for another score. So that is 18 points to the Royal Air Force. 10 points.
18-10.
Oh, 18-10. Bless you.
Yeah, they're lacking the confidence with taking that ball with and I think the RAF are capitalising on that now.
Yeah, I think that's why they're using that tactic, isn't it? Because they're not just doing it at the end of their set, they're doing it when she sees space. So the Royal Air Force, so much so for the seesawing tactic, they're now ahead, and it is 18-10, or 10-18 as I should say, because of course the Royal Navy are hosts. And we have got Kate Allen here with the chance to convert, but she is quite far right of the post there, so no conversion, but it is 18-10 to the Royal Air Force, and the Royal Navy, the hosts, have fallen behind here, and the Royal Air Force ladies are in charge. Your feet getting itchy, Jim. You want to get out there, tell the girls what to do?
Yeah, I've had a couple of years out of it now, and I totally miss it. I was hoping to get into youth rugby up in Blackpool, but I've not found the time, to be honest.
Yeah. I don't know what they're singing, but it sounds fun. Someone Tommy Taylor. Right, so here we are going into the final quarter of the Inter-Services Rugby League, with the Royal Navy women hosting the Royal Air Force women here at Burnaby Road. Kick-off there from Sam Alderson. The RAF have picked it up. They lead by 18 points to 10. And it was looking fairly evenly matched, but the RAF have definitely upped the pace. That was a lovely tackle. That deemed as high, was it, Jim?
I didn't see it on the cameraman. I missed that one.
Yeah, I think that was quite a high tackle. She took the ball off as well, but yeah, the RAF are definitely on the pace at the moment. Royal Navy look like they're the side that are lagging, unfortunately. But they have come from nowhere before, so potentially this game is far from over.
Yeah, they came out strong at the start, and they seem to have had a bit of a chink there, so hopefully they recover.
So after that infringement, the Royal Air Force, in the form of Louise Pritchard, will kick off. This could be their chance, Jim. Royal Navy have won the ball back.
Yeah, it'd be good to see them do something with it.
Well, we know they can. In fact, Becky, who has got ball in hand at the moment, she's someone who can make things change on a pitch, can't she? So we've seen that already. So she'll put in for the Royal Navy.
Yeah, it'd be good to see her make something with us.
I guess the fatigue starts coming in now as well, doesn't it? Sam Alderson with the ball.
Yeah, there's not many fresh legs in the ladies' game, unfortunately.
Yep. Well, Rosie Staples has come on fresh legs in a way here for the Royal Navy. But they've got space, they've got width. They're certainly looking for something down the right wing.
Yeah, I think they need to just swap out their forwards a bit and, take a breather on the attack, maybe for one set at least. And push out with the centres and swap them out now and again.
And they seem to be quicker on the ball than they were in the first half as well. I quite unfairly said their feet looked like it was in tar, but they seem to be quicker off the ball. Here we go with another high ball over the head of the RAF. Oh, unlucky. Oh, could have been another beauty. But definitely a tactic being used by both sides. The Royal Air Force then in the lead here, 18 points to 10 against the Royal Navy ladies. And they'll be attacking from well within their own half, but they do have the lead. We've got more rugby league for you later on this evening. The men's senior team, the Royal Air Force, against the Royal Navy, the two Bens, Ben Mellor of the Royal Air Force against the Royal Navy's Ben Taylor. That'll be live here on Forces News, Facebook and YouTube from 6:15 this evening. The game should kick off at 6:30, although we did have a bit of delay to this match. So, but please do join us, stay with us here as we bring you what we can from Burnaby Road. 3 matches this afternoon. Just a reminder that the development game earlier was a win for the RAF. They came from 10 points down to win 22 points to 12 against the Royal Navy. So first blood goes to the Royal Air Force, and we're seeing here the Royal Air Force ladies 18 points to 10 in front, and certainly looking like they have the momentum. They're with the ball at the moment against the Royal Navy. And this match has been evenly matched and getting fierier by the minute. Pritchard then out to Alex Barnes, scorer of 2 tries. And they're using the whip here, but fumbled by the RAF, gone forward. So that'll be a Navy ball.
Just a bit of reluctance to jump on that ball. It's cost them a few times.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Royal Air Force ball, and they're very close to the line. Yeah, the Royal Air Force basically just need to carry on doing what they're doing, because so far it's got them into this leading position. They're definitely seeing the gaps.
Yeah, they're keeping up that strength, and that confidence has been something we've seen a lot of.
Oh, they've got the space here, the Royal Air Force, and they're over again. Another score for the Light Blues, and that puts them 22 points to 10 up. Oh, we've got bottles and cans being thrown here at Burnaby Road. Careful, boys. So the RAF, their 3 scores in a row puts them well ahead of the Royal Navy ladies. We'll see if Alex Barnes can convert this score. I don't want to jump onto the bandwagon too soon, but that is quite a hefty lead there, Jim. 22 points to 10. Soon to be probably 24. They're not so confident, the scorers of this one.
Yeah, the RAF are definitely capitalising on these errors. I'd just like to see the Navy get on the ball a bit more, you know, drop on the ball. Like, seems there's a bit of nervousness about them.
And this won't help. You know, the further you see the score going away, the sort of more those nerves set in. But Alex Barnes here with an easy conversion. So that is